Hello, JPU family. Welcome to another episode. Guys, I got a message from one of our subscribers who had been following me on social media for a while who said, Nuts, how come you didn't write that book? And I was like, wow, I can't believe that people actually remember that. Well, for those of you who don't know, during the very early stages of this so-called war between Rise United, led by Bunting, and everybody else, I had promised that I was going to write a book because I had enough information to document it, and seeing that the politics had taken this weird, dangerous turn where disinformation, character assassination, lies, fabricated stories were becoming a thing in our politics, which I found to be a threat to our democracy. I felt like it needed to be documented because clearly it's not something that the media was doing. So I felt like it needed to be written down and we needed to be able to look back on it no matter the outcome of this general election. And I was going to write a book in hopes that it would help educate people while the election was pending. I was really going to do it. I have written a book before. I know what it takes. I even had some co-authors in mind that I consulted with, and they were willing to co-write it with me. I know how to publish it and things like that. So I knew what to expect. It would have been time consuming, but if you like to write, you would enjoy something like that. But God had other plans. Yes, guys. I ended up coming over here on YouTube after the unaliving of Melissa in 2023, November of 2023. So when I ended up coming over here after about the first few months, I would say 2 months or so, when I realized that, this is a platform that people actually listen to and people say that they listen to. People say that they're getting good information from and that they share information from. I thought, you know what? Maybe this is the way that God is leading me to do all my documenting, information sharing, and just let people know what I know about this Rise United movement and how dangerous it would be to have them in our government. So I kind of put the book writing thing on the back burner. I'm sorry if it disappointed anybody, but, the goal with the book writing was to inform people. And I have done that right here successfully. And I think even more impactful than writing the book. So right around the time when the book idea came about, it was around 2023. And at that time, the Prime Minister of Jamaica had become this monster in the eyes of a lot of people because of the disinformation and the fabricated stories and lies that were being spread and so fast. Really and truly, guys, writing a book could take you a year. It could even take you 2 years, between actually doing your first draft to, the various versions of the editing that you would have to do, unless you have an editor. And that could take some time. So I didn't think that time was on my side and on our side either. So thank God for this medium here on YouTube. I think it accomplished the same thing, to educate the people, to inform the people, to disseminate truthful information. That was accomplished, and we're continuing to do so. Make no mistake about it, Yes, the people who me and my co-authors were going to write this book about, they are very much aware about, the impact of channels like mine and channels that are doing the same thing, which is to help spread the truth and help to save our democracy and keep our country's image from being tainted by people who want power and people who mean our country no good. They know how impactful it is, right? So even though I shelved the idea of writing a book, I would hope that the keepers of history, the keepers of political history in Jamaica would have, literature in our libraries and on our bookshelves that, speaks to this moment in our history, in our political history, you know, when our children's children and grandchildren come round here, can they look back and, have a point of reference to see what happened in Jamaica's political history, the history of the PNP, JLP, the history of our democracy? I like history because if you don't know where you're coming from, you sure as heck don't know where you're going. But I hope that someday, somebody will put pen to paper and do just that for the generations that are to come. Like I said, guys, the purpose of the book would have been to educate people, so that they would make the right decision in the election that just passed. But the rate at which we were dealing with, the various things that were happening, me not know if a book could have keep up, or if it would have had the same effect. We never know, but, I think, we did the right thing. But yeah, this book got a lot of people excited because this picture right here was going to be on the cover, and I was going to write it, all truth about this whole plot, which started, to my knowledge, from 2019 and the different tactics and the things that we were seeing that were so new and foreign to our country and our politics, dangerousness of it, and all that I knew and what I've told you guys since I started this channel, and some things that I have not said, yes, would have been documented. But, some things are just not meant to be. And I think what I've been doing here on this platform and on this channel is probably 10 times more effective. And yes, I do believe and I agree with those who say that this platform greatly played a part in the outcome of the 2025 general election. That was the whole aim and the whole goal from the very beginning. Well, now that we are here and now that, we're past the election, I can say that, we were on the right side of history. Very happy about that. Also happy to have been a witness to the government of Jamaica swearing in a third term. That's how it should be at this time. Let me know what you think in the chat, guys. Do you think that it would have been more effective, in your opinion, to write a book? Or should I have written a book? Or should I still think about writing a book? I mean, those of you who were aware of it, what do you think? And those of you who are hearing this for the first time, do you think that it is not necessary, or it still is necessary to do so? I'd like to hear your comments and your feedback. Guys, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Please give this video a thumbs up. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.